Hello and welcome to the Listening Post's unboxing channel on YouTube. Today I'm unboxing a brand new release turntable from Pro-Ject, an evolution of a previous model. It's the new X1B. The X1 and X2 have been acclaimed. I've loved them. They're brilliantly made. It's obvious as far as what you are buying from an engineering standpoint. They sound brilliant. They look brilliant, they perform amazingly well, and have always sold really well. Looking for that next step, Pro-Ject have introduced a series of balanced turntables, this one being one of them. The X1B, the X2B I've done previously. And it starts to introduce a truly balanced signal from the cartridge all the way through the arm, the cabling and the phono preamp and potentially beyond. It means it's got a significantly lower noise floor, and it means that everything appears a little bit more unveiled. That process of dropping the noise floor, so all that little stuff, that little timpani, all that ringing in the room seems to float brilliantly. And they're delivering it in two ways. Moving magnet and moving coil options. Now this one is a pre-release, so they will be coming factory fitted with the Pickett Pro Balanced. I've got one here. This pre-release model doesn't have it pre-fitted, but of course hang around, the photographs will show not only it as it is, but also after I've fitted the cartridge. So please hang around. Right, let's have a look. Firstly, all of these Pro-Ject boxes, we've seen them all before, pretty standard as far as its packaging goes. It's white with a Pro-Ject logo. Both ends show scannable information associated with the model number and serial number, along with its colour. Now today it's a high gloss white. Again, emulated on the other side, a little bit tidier because it doesn't have the freight labels, and again the sticker associated with the new True Balanced design that they're incorporating. Opening these is really easy. Very straightforward process. It's closed with a paper tape, so it sort of drags the knife across carefully, not too deep, because as you will see, the first thing just under the lid is the accessories, and you don't want the knife blade walking across all of that. Now in the accessories, firstly we've got a felt mat. Look, as always, hang around for the photographs. We'll show this quietly sort of being assembled. Also, of course, that's a very good idea as far as what you might be doing in your own home. Makes it nice and easy. The accessories. Now in this accessory bag, it's sealed with a little white label. We've got a full colour sort of setup connection guide, okay, that shows how to assemble the products, the feet, the counterweights, all of those types of things, as well as some awesome pictorials, so it's great to see there. Basic warranty information as far as who distributes the product internationally and how to get a hold of them. A little freebie, which is a basic paper cartridge alignment tool. Some white gloves. The anti-skate weight, we'll put that off to one side. The belts. Now there's two belts. One is a traditional Pro-Ject belt for the central pulley. The second is the alternative. So the round belt is if you want to play 78s. This has a speed box incorporated in it, so you turn it on and then tap for 33, tap for 45 as it changes between the two. If you're running 45 and change to the alternative belt, which sits on a larger pulley wheel, you can also play 78s. The traditional belt, again, as always, screen printed with a Pro-Ject logo. Hang around, I'll show you how to fit it. There's a 45 adapter along with an Allen key. Now that Allen key is to loosen off the lock nuts for VTA and other tracking adjustments. And then finally we've got Pro-Ject's traditional interconnect. Now these turntables are supplied with their Connect E. They do a series of better ones. but this is actually pretty good. It's fully screened, very low noise floor. It has the earth lead, as well as clearly labelled left and right. Plus, we've now got the yellow labels on one end highlighting the amplifier end. So this being the source, the turntable, this one being the amplifier. Pro-Ject will be have already released all of the accessories associated with using the balanced input into their phono preamps and balanced outputs. Hang around because I'll show you some of the other cables. Right, accessories gone. We've got a piece of cardboard simply to protect the top surface of the acrylic lid. Perspex lid, I should say. Taking the lid out is pretty easy. And one of these sort of cloth bags. They're sort of a polish cloth, so kind of cool that it's going to arrive to you scratch free. Okay, Pro-Ject logo. Put that off to one side. Get rid of that. There's a piece of triangular cardboard to help prevent the central pulley wheel from moving around. I'll show you that. It sits here like that. Then there's typically a couple of pieces of this closed cell foam, and that's to stop any of the cardboard or vibration potentially scratching the gloss finish of the turntable beneath. Look, lifting the turntable out is pretty straightforward. I mean, that's easy. Just put it down to one side. I'll show you the next layers. We've got the counterweight. Now it's actually separately isolated using a silverthane, and the inner ring very, very easy to use. And then right on the bottom, so we've got a couple of pieces of formed packaging, a couple of small pieces of polystyrene to support and stop from moving the power supply. It's 15 volt DC, and I think the speed box is a DC to AC controller. That's how it monitors the speed. It's excellent to see such a good feature set for a relatively low cost turntable. Now this one comes with just the New Zealand power plug, and it clips straight in. I guess internationally there's probably a whole series of other ones there too. Then lastly, in the bottom of the box, we've got the massive acrylic platter. Now this one weighs somewhere between 1 and 2 kilos. The acrylic platter has a couple of engineered advantages. The platter has a couple of engineered advantages, as I spoke about. Now firstly, it's lathed so that the record label will sit in an insert here rather than potentially changing the height of the record. This, because it's spun, milled, lathed, through its centre point, it means of course it's immediately balanced. So obviously any tiny microscopic imbalance is eliminated by the simple machining and manufacturing of the product itself. It's also vibration free, so very high dampening factor, and because it's very heavy, very, very good inertia, which is important for a turntable. Right. This one comes more assembled than perhaps the X2 or the Classic, which has removable feet. These feet are adjustable, but they come pre-fitted. So sliding it out, we have a quick look. Firstly, again, the Picket Pro is not factory fitted on this early release model, but will be in the future. The carbon fibre arm is 8 and a bit inches long, and it's a carbon wrapped over aluminium. It's a brilliant combination. As we tilt it forward, we see some of the main features. There's the speed box that I mentioned. That incorporates along with the switch, which is, by the way, at the bottom. So that's your basic on-off switch, and then once it's on, you adjust between 33 and 45 with the tap of a button. We see the central lightweight pulley wheel. The belt, of course, goes around here to the independently isolated motor. Uses a series of dampened washers and rubber bands, allowing for a little bit of adjustment if required as well. Spinning it around, you can see it's a very traditional depth turntable, and at the back we see a couple of things. Firstly, the hinges for the lid. And I tilt it forward, we see what is now unique to this new balanced range. We see the output, which left and right clearly indicated, and the ground. But then we see beside it this 5-pin balanced. It utilises, again, immediately for moving coil cartridges, but the introduction of the new fully balanced moving magnet means that there's a complete circuit for each of the left and right channels and a 5th wire for its earthing. Again, it's designed to drop transmission noise to immeasurable levels, meaning the phono preamp gets a better signal, and then from the phono preamp to the amp, again, a significantly better signal. So it's wonderful to see that they've added this at essentially no extra cost. We also see at the bottom the feet. Now these are adjustable. There's a nice felt pad to stop it from scratching the surface. There's probably a little bit of vibration dampening effect from there too. And then it's sandwiched with sorbothane or rubber in between these two pieces, and again adjustable for levelling. There's in the back there the input for the 15-volt power supply, and very, very straightforward as far as making its connections. Now, as far as the turntable itself goes, what I want to be able to do is just pause and start assembling it so that you start to see the product looking as it should. The Pro-Ject belt goes over the central pulley wheel, and then over the smaller of the two options for the motor. Give it a quick turn to make sure it's sort of seated correctly, and then add the acrylic platter, again with that recess on the top. Again, this is just a light assemble. We then take the felt mat and it starts to look more and more like a turntable. Again, quick pre-assemble only is the counterweight. Now the anti-skate weight, hang around if you want to see this one fitted. It sits, let's spin that around. It sits in this point here and dangles over the predetermined sort of hanger here. It just adds a little bit of tracking force to ensure that it aligns brilliantly, and of course gravity being relatively consistent means that we've got a nice easy method of adding that anti-skate. Lastly, from an assembly perspective, it's about adding the lid. That just slides on the hinges pretty straightforward like that. Okay. And again, now it starts to really look like a turntable. So just putting that off to one side, I want to pause and have a chat about Pro-Ject's new balanced cartridge. So again, this would have been factory fitted, and with that you won't see the packaging part of it. But let's have a quick look. Pick it Pro, Pro-Ject Systems, opening up like a little jewellery box, and we see excellent choice and a bit of information associated with the product on the top here. And then the cartridge itself can be lifted out of the cardboard fitting. It's actually quite firm, weirdly enough. So sliding that off, and we see all the information associated with it and its setup. The cartridge is held in place by the two mounting screws, and then of course the protective cover. It's got that sort of new clear plastic, and again, as we want to see this fitted, hang around. Now again, putting those little things off to one side, I want to pause and show you some of the things that we might need to discuss as you take advantage of that next step with the turntable. Looking at the back of the unit, we see again that 5-pin mini XLR. Well, Pro-Ject is releasing a series of connectors, both RCA to mini XLR, and also this cable, which would take it to the next level, allowing for the 5-pin to 5-pin connection. These are relatively inexpensive and come in all the varieties you would expect. Direct into the bottom of certain arms, RCA to RCA, 5-pin to RCA, RCA to 5-pin, and so on. Now those accessories go with, as you would think, one of their new B for balanced phono preamps. Now this is an example of their Phonobox S3B. This is their most inexpensive of them. Brilliant option as far as loading, gain, selection of RCA and XLR inputs, as well as the subsonic filter options. These are powered from an external power supply. I think it's about 18 volts if I remember correctly. And here we've got the input for the phono preamp if you're using the connection cable directly to it. We also see the traditional RCA ins and RCA outs, along with a balanced output if you're connecting it to a much better amplifier. So the combination is absolutely stunning. Again, hang around for some photographs. You'll get some close-ups of me plugging these sorts of things in, and some final assembly, obviously, with the cartridge fitted. So there we have it. Pro-Ject's brand new X1B turntable, balanced, along with single-ended connections, absolutely superb. Unboxed here at the Listening Post in Christchurch, New Zealand. Thanks for watching. If you want to see more, subscribe to our channel.